You're all pretty much f***.
Michael Douglas is a famous actor, producer, and representative of the famous acting dynasty. He's made a successful career akin to his father's, Kirk Douglas, and became a true Hollywood legend. We will tell you about his path to the top in this video. How Michael Douglas lives and how much he earns. Michael Kirk Douglas was born on September 25, 1944, in the young acting family of Kirk Douglas and Diana Dill. The boy was born in New Brunswick, New Jersey, but soon the family moved to New York. 2.5 years later, Michael had a younger brother, Joel. The family lived in a one-room apartment in the Greenwich Village area. Right now, our hero is called the heir to the show business's royal dynasty, but back then, his parents were just starting their careers. Kirk spent most of his time in California filming under a studio contract, and his marriage with Diana couldn't withstand it. Michael's parents divorced when he was 6 years old, and he stayed with his mother. 7 years later, she remarried. Stepfather became the first adult Michael could talk to about anything, and thanks to whom the young man felt confident for the first time. But at school, none of the teachers could restrain his violent temperament. Even though Michael studied well, he skipped classes and talked back to the teachers. For some time, the young man worked at a mobile gas station. Some days he was an employee of the month, and other days he would track cars and steal spare parts from them with his friends. In addition to his stepfather, the authority for Douglas Jr. was his father, who managed to become a movie icon for the whole of America. Michael was so impressed by Kirk's films and the time spent with him on the set during the summer holidays that he also wanted to become an actor. He often asked his father which doors to knock on to break into Hollywood, but he was categorically against his son's choice of profession. However, when Michael enrolled at the University of California as a dramatic arts major and played in theatrical productions, Kirk came to his son's every performance, no matter how busy he was. At university, Douglas became friends with Danny DeVito, who later became his flatmate. They rented an apartment in New York for $150 a month. At the same time, the young man earned a living by delivering coffee at the cinema and working behind the scenes. Nevertheless, Kirk contributed to the beginning of his son's acting career. Together, they starred in and produced the 1966 film Cast a Giant Shadow. The following roles came only several years later. In the late 60s, early 70s, Douglas starred in several TV series and films such as Hail Hero and Summer Tree. On the set, the young man met a young promising actress, Brenda Vaccaro. The couple was inseparable for 6 years, living like hippies and vowing eternal love to each other. Michael calls this time the most wonderful in his life. But the relationship ended abruptly. Brenda just got in the car and left. The young actor's first significant work was the role of an inspector in the TV series The Streets of San Francisco, which he received in 1972 and played for 5 years.
I've got 2 eyewitnesses.
What did they see?
Police brutality.
Oh, come on now. Joe Landers? Look, he may be a little hard-nosed, but he never manhandled anybody. I don't buy that. All right, did they see the gun go off?
Not who was holding it, no.
His partner on the set was Kirk Douglas' friend Carl Malden. He called Michael the son he never had and insisted on his participation in the project. Interestingly, even after moving to Hollywood, Michael continued to pay his part of the rent while DeVito remained in New York. Also in 1972, our hero appeared in the films When Michael Calls and Napoleon and Samantha. The latter has become a classic of American children's films. Later, Douglas was caught up with the work behind the scenes. He directed one of the episodes of Streets of San Francisco and began working on the film adaptation of Ken Kesey's novel One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. The rights to the film adaptation belonged to Kirk, but he abandoned the hope of implementing the project, so he handed them over to his son. The film surpassed all expectations, winning 5 Oscars and bringing fabulous profits to the Douglas dynasty. Since then, our hero has acted as a producer in many films in which he starred. In 1977, Michael married the daughter of an Australian diplomat, Deandra Luker, and a year later they had a son, Cameron. According to both spouses, their life together was like a volcano. It subsided for a while, then erupted with terrible force. And there were a lot of infidelities. Deandra said in an interview that she once caught her husband with her friend, but each time she forgave him. In 1978, the thriller The China Syndrome was released. Douglas's payout in which amounted to $262,000. For his next film, the sports drama Running, Michael trained a lot and ran about 55 miles a week. In addition, he stopped smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day and lost almost 13 pounds. Then, the movie It's My Turn came out, but a successful career had to be put on pause for several years. In 1980, Douglas was seriously injured at a ski resort and returned to the screens only in 1983 with the crime thriller The Star Chamber. It didn't become widely known, unlike his next work, the adventure film Romancing the Stone. Michael, who also became the producer, bought the script for $250,000, and as a result, the box office around the world exceeded $85 million.
Oh, God damn it, what a ride, huh? I'm telling you, this has turned out to be one hell of a morning.
Equally successful was the sequel titled The Jewel of the Nile in 1985, although Douglas took part in the sequel without much desire. Soon, the musical A Chorus Line was released on the screens, and in 1987, the world saw 2 hits at once, Fatal Attraction and Wall Street. For the former, Douglas received $13 million, and for the later, 2 major film awards, a Golden Globe and an Oscar. In addition, the role of the stock market shark and concurrently the main villain ironically inspired many people to make a career in economics and the stock market. In 1989, Michael presented to the audience the crime thriller Black Rain and the comedy The War of the Roses. In the latter, he worked with his friend Danny DeVito. Then, he produced several films, including the action movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme, Double Impact, and starred in the military drama Shining Through. But the absolute hit of 1992 was the thriller Basic Instinct, for which Douglas received $15 million.
My sex life's actually pretty shitty since I stopped seeing you. Started developing calluses.
According to Michael, shooting the sex scene with Sharon Stone was torture because they had to repeat the choreography for 10 hours of the shooting day for 5 days in a row. In addition, the actor forbade shooting himself naked from the front. By the way, he performed almost all the car stunts on his own. The role of the detective from Basic Instinct became one of the brightest in Douglas's career. But he didn't get stuck in one role. In the next movie, Falling Down, he appeared in the image of an average guy who cannot stand the injustice of the world. To participate in the project, Michael canceled a family vacation and later called this role his favorite. Then, the actor added several roles to his filmography in the films Disclosure with a payout of $12 million and American President. While working on the latter, Douglas discovered a distant relationship to U.S. President Richard Nixon and both Bush, and the payout amounted to $15 million. His intuition for hits didn't let the actor and producer down. Each of his next projects was a great success. For example, the adventure film The Ghost and the Darkness and the thrillers A Perfect Murder and The Game, for each of which Michael received $20 million.
Oh, no, you've got to be kidding.
What is happening?
This is what I was trying to explain to you. This is a game.
Meanwhile, big changes were taking place in his personal life. Since the mid-90s, their marriage with Deandra was a conformity, and they just couldn't agree on the terms of the divorce. Even the marriage contract didn't make the task easier because Deandra wanted to increase the amount of compensation and Michael wanted to reduce it. At the same time, he was invested in a new relationship. In 1998, at the screening of The Mask of Zorro, he saw Catherine Zeta-Jones and was so fascinated by her that he immediately declared his desire to become the father of her children. Later, the actress would admit that she immediately fell in love with him, but didn't want to have an affair with the taken man. However, 6 months after they met, they would spend hours on the phone talking about everything in the world. After that, the relationship developed rapidly. On New Year's Eve of 1999, Catherine was already pregnant, and Michael offered his beloved a long-prepared ring with a 10-carat diamond surrounded by 28 smaller stones. Its cost is estimated from $1 to $2 million. The actor's first wife then, without sarcasm, told reporters that he would have to change his religion to one where polygamy is allowed. But Douglas was already ready to agree to all Deandra's conditions. So in 2000, he paid her $45 million and left her a mansion in Beverly Hills, as well as half of the estate in Majorca. By the way, Michael tried several times to find a buyer for his luxury property, but since the ex-wife remained the co-owner, he took it off the market. In August of the same year, Catherine gave birth to their first child, Dylan Michael, and in November, they had a gorgeous wedding of the year, which cost the actor $2 million. However, $1 million was covered because the magazine OK paid for an exclusive photos from the magnificent celebration. Interestingly, Michael and Catherine were born on the same day with a difference of 25 years. Personal affairs didn't prevent Douglas from actively acting and producing. So, in the same year 2000, he presented the movie Wonder Boys and together with his young wife appeared in the thriller Traffic. These two projects brought our hero $15 million. This was followed by the films One Night at Nicole's, Don't Say a Word, The In-Laws, and It Runs in the Family. The latter involved representatives of 3 generations of the Douglas family, Kirk and Diana, their son Michael, and grandson Cameron. In 2003, the family of Michael and Catherine welcomed their daughter Caraceta. After her birth, the celebrities moved to Bermuda, where our hero's mother is from. For more than 10 years, the couple lived in a quiet life, leaving only for filming, and the children didn't even know what their parents were doing. Their daughter recalled that as a child, she was sure that the main occupation of her dad's life was to bake pancakes for breakfast and please mom. The couple still owns this cozy nest, although they tried to sell it in 2019 for $10.6 million but changed their minds. After a short break in his creative activity, Douglas returned to the screens in 2006 with the films The Sentinel, You, Me and Dupree, and a year later presented the comedy drama King of California. Then came the movies Ghosts of Girlfriends Past, Beyond a Reasonable Doubt, Solitary Man, and the continuation of the 1987 drama Wall Street, Money Never Sleeps.
You're the ninja generation. No income, no job, no assets. You got a lot to look forward to.
A busy period in his career again coincided with the vicissitudes of private life. His eldest son Cameron was a drug addict, and our hero had to forbid him to approach his family. In 2009, Cameron was accused of smuggling, which led him behind bars. By the way, Michael himself also suffered from addiction and in the 90s received treatment in a rehab clinic. His son also managed to get over a dangerous addiction, and Catherine Zeta-Jones at that difficult time became a real support for the family. But soon, another misfortune struck them. In 2010, Michael was diagnosed with laryngeal cancer. Catherine did everything to help her husband heal, but soon she couldn't stand the stress, and she started showing signs of bipolar disorder. Her periods of incredible activity were replaced by the deepest depression, and Michael didn't take his wife's problems seriously at all. These events almost put an end to their union, and they seriously talked about divorce, but still managed to make up. In 2012 to 2014, such films as Haywire and So It Goes, Beyond the Reach, and the biographical drama Behind the Candelabra were released. In the latter, the actor played the legend of American show business pianist and entertainer Liberace. And this role became a real gift for him after his illness. He trained for a long time, recreating the voice of his character and studied his piano playing technique. Also during this period, the actor starred in the comedy drama Las Vegas, along with Robert De Niro and Morgan Freeman.
It's just winding up a little too fast, and I'm feeling old and alone.
In 2015, Michael joined the Marvel Cinematic Universe playing the role of Hank Pym in the movie Ant-Man. He appeared in the same image in other projects, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Avengers Endgame, and the animated series What If. In addition, during the period, the actor starred in the action movie Unlocked, the thriller Animal World, took part in the voiceover of the children's series Green Eggs and Ham, and presented the series The Kominsky Method. For this comedic role, which is rare for him, Douglas received another Golden Globe.
Why?
It is fine.
Which is what I said.
No, you said it with an attitude, and you said, fine.
Forgive me. Fine.
Jesus, let's just order.
Fine.
In addition, our hero worked as a producer on the prequel to One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. The series rashade about a psychiatric hospital nurse. At the end of 2018, Michael Douglas's star was unveiled on the Hollywood Walk, dedicated to the 50th anniversary of his career. The actor admits that only work helps him keep in shape and to be fit, and he has a lot of projects. In February 2023, the premiere of the fantastic action movie Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania took place. where Douglas again played Hank Pym. The filming of the series, Franklin, about American President Benjamin Franklin, has already begun, and work is underway on a historical series about the relationship between two other presidents, Reagan and Gorbachev. Neither age nor illness affected Douglas's intelligence, and he was still surprising others with his ability to instantly remember the names of people he sees for the first time, and to notice the slightest nuances that distinguish the manner of the interlocutor's behavior. He loves golf and Formula One, and also does a lot of charity work. As the UN peace envoy, he is on a mission to draw the world's attention to nuclear disarmament and the protection of human rights. Philanthropy Douglas's family affair. Through the registered fund, they send money to various organizations. The entire inheritance from Kirk Douglas of $61 million was also sent to a charity, especially since Michael's fortune greatly exceeds his father's capital. It is estimated at $350 million earned as an actor and producer. In addition, Douglas invests. However, after the 2008 crisis, when he lost about 35 to 40% of his fortune, Michael became more conservative in investments. Douglas owns a valuable real estate portfolio with assets all over the world, which he gradually sells for his own benefit. He owned a plot of land with an area of more than 12 acres in Westchester County, New York, which he bought in 2015 for $11.3 million and sold in 2019 for $20.5 million. Around the same time, he and Catherine paid only $4.5 million for a house in the wealthy suburb of Irvington in New York State. The 3-story Georgian mansion has 8 bedrooms, 12 bathrooms, several living rooms and dining rooms, an indoor swimming pool, and a picturesque view of the Hudson River. Douglas and his wife also own a large apartment in New York City overlooking Central Park. The 15-room penthouse includes a master bedroom and a cozy library. In 2021, the property was put up for sale, but apparently hasn't found its buyer yet. The actor can rarely be seen in commercial advertising. The exception is the German electronic stock trading company Comdirect. But the most interesting one is the 60-second video for the FBI, in which Michael appeared as his character from Wall Street. It is known that Douglas owns cars of different brands and times, from vintage to modern, in particular the Mercedes-Benz Army Type car and the Toyota Prius. Now, the Douglas acting dynasty is continued by Michael's eldest son, Cameron. But so far, his films haven't enjoyed great success. And which movie with this actor do you like the most?
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Wednesday Addams, How Jenna Ortega Lives and How Much She Earns. Jenna Marie Ortega was born on September 27, 2002 in the California resort town of La Quinta on the Coachella Valley to the family of a successful businessman of Mexican descent and a nurse with Puerto Rican roots. Natalie and Edward Ortega got married at a very young age and immediately decided that their family would be big and close-knit. And their wish came true. 6 charming children soon cropped up one after the other. Mariah, Isaac, Mia, Jenna, Alaya, and Marcus grew up surrounded by love, attention, and a healthy family atmosphere. Because of such a pleasant family dynamic, Jenna's talent manifested itself at an early age. By 6, the girl knew that she would become an actress and nothing else. She was greatly impressed by the film Man on Fire starring Denzel Washington. Dakota Fanning, who played the main character's daughter in this thriller, shocked little Jenna. Her mother, in turn, showed consideration for this impulse and recorded a video with her daughter, which she then posted on Facebook. Word of mouth brought the news of the artistic girl to a casting agent, and he immediately contacted the Ortegas. At the same time, the expert did not immediately promise them mountains of gold, offering to start acting in a commercial. So Jenna first appeared on screens in an advertisement for Colgate toothpaste, talking about the importance of oral hygiene in a relaxed manner. She also appeared in TV commercials for McDonald's and Burger King. After 2 years of auditions, the first offers for film and television roles finally started to come in. Jenna's debut was working in episodes of the TV series Rob with Rob Schneider as the lead, CSI NY, and Days of Our Lives. In 2013, came more experiences as she starred in feature films, including James Wan's Insidious Chapter 2 and the superhero movie Iron Man 3. In the latter, Ortega played a small role as the vice president's daughter, but it was a confident step into the future. Then, the young actress starred in the miniseries Dead Time Stories, the family comedies The Little Rascals Save the Day, and The Cookie Mobster, the series Rake, Know-It-All Nina, and several others, and voiced the animated series Over the Garden Wall. But her first major role was in the television series Jane the Virgin, where Ortega played the main character as a child.
Bien. Ahora haz que se vea como nueva otra vez. Vamos, anda, trata.
I can't.
Así es. Nunca puedes volver atrás, y eso es lo que sucede cuando pierdes tu virginidad.
In 2015, Jenna starred in the TV series Richie Rich, where she got the role of the main character's girlfriend. And even though critics pulled the Netflix creation to pieces, from that moment, lead roles were now within her grasp. Next, the young actress appeared in the massively mixed-up middle school mystery, and afterwards, but another project made many critics look attentively at this petite brunette. For 2 years, she acted in the comedy series Stuck in the Middle as the main lead. It is noteworthy that the Disney Film Company seems to have chosen its script specifically for Jenna. The thing is that Harley Diaz, whose story we follow, comes from a big family, and as the title states, Diaz finds herself stuck in the middle as the middle child. Jenna, just like her character, was born into a large family and is the middle child. Interestingly, this series predicted the future role for the actress when her heroine said,
If my family was a week, I'd be Wednesday.
We must say that the producer's bid turned out to be successful, and Ortega received her first win at the prestigious Imagine Awards, which celebrates the positive image of Latinos in the entertainment industry. In addition, her work was highly appreciated by Disney professionals, and in 2016, she received an offer to voice one of the main characters of the animated film Elena of Avalor. The role of Princess Isabel brought her not only several awards and nominations, but also a lot of young fans. Success with this audience was consolidated in 2017 when Jenna was invited to the star in the music video Chapstick by popular American blogger and singer Jacob Sartorius. Besides the video being very emotional, tender, and cute, it received considerable support in the media and gained great popularity. At the same time, rumors about the relationship between Jenna and Jacob were gaining traction among the public. It is unknown for certain whether this relationship was reality or fiction made up by PR people. On the list of the young talent's potential boyfriends were actors Isaac Presley and Asher Angel. Nevertheless, the girl herself denied all the relationships attributed to her so far. In general, she guards her personal life zealously and asks her fans to be understanding of that. In 2018, the film Saving Flora with Jenna in the lead role was released.
Bend down, Flora. Come on, girl. There you go.
Oh,
It's a little rocky, so move around.
In the center of the plot is an old circus elephant, which they plan to get rid of because she can no longer perform in front of the public. Then the resourceful daughter of the circus director played by Ortega decides to save her pet and goes on a long journey with her. The following year, the actress starred in the psychological thriller TV series You.
Can you believe she put that spy software on my phone?
Shit.
You sure it was her?
Who else would it be?
So you're not gonna tell her you know?
Obviously not. It's way more useful if she thinks it's still working.
This is what I get for trying to out-tech a teenager.
Her character appeared only in the second season and was an annoying, sometimes strangely behaving girl, Ellie. In 2020, Jenna took part in the comedy horror film The Babysitter Killer Queen. Having played one of the main roles, the shooting was a big source of stress for the young actress. When she joined the team, everyone was already well acquainted with each other and she had to overcome awkwardness and panic attacks. In the same year, the miniseries home movie The Princess Bride was released, which was filmed by the actors on their smartphones during the lockdown. In addition, Jenna was noted for her work in the animated science fiction series Jurassic World, Camp Cretaceous, voicing a character named Brooklyn. In 2021, 2 films were released. Yes Day, in which such masters as Jennifer Garner and Edgar Ramirez became Jenna's partner on set, and the movie that discusses the pressing problem of shootings, The Fallout. The plot takes the viewer through a normal day of an ordinary 16-year-old schoolgirl, Vada, brilliantly played by Ortega.
I just said you don't even need to wear makeup. What was that? Was that a gun?
The girl manages to hide in the toilet while there is a shooting on the school premises. She can only hear what's happening. The aspiring director Megan Park managed to not just film a drama about a sensitive topic, but also to show the psychological side of the tragedy. The crime itself takes up relatively little screen time, while the open question of how can a child cope with the horror they experienced takes focus. The film makes you think about the topic of post-traumatic stress syndrome, which isn't fully discussed in society. The filmmakers masterfully bring to fore the horror of the fact that even after huge amounts of stress like that, the world still goes on. As for Jenna, the movie showed her not only as a serious dramatic actress, but also made her look like a sensitive person. All because she had a similar experience in her life. According to her, she faced this threat in elementary school. Back then, the children were sitting in the classroom with the teacher and, in a state of shock, could only ask one thing: is this really happening? At the beginning of 2022, horror fans were not only pleased with the return of the legendary film Scream, but also Ortega's excellent work in it.
Hello?
Bonus question, Tara.
Please stop!
Do you think I made it inside your house before you could rearm?
She received a prize from the MTV Movie and TV Awards for Best Scream. The viewers had clearly longed for a high-quality slasher movie, which was reflected at the box office. With a budget of $24 million, the horror movie collected $140 million worldwide. In response to that, the filmmakers immediately announced the launch of the sixth part, which is scheduled for release in the spring of 2023. Jenna Ortega will reappear as high school student Tara Carpenter and will continue to escape from the chilling ghost face. This time, the film will take place in New York instead of Woodsboro, which should add even more dynamics and colors to the plot. Jenna is so convincing in these roles that in March 2022, another horror film with her participation was released. The American-Canadian film X, in which the actress played a lead role, was positively received by both critics and the audience, winning its fan pool. Although the film's success apparently wasn't enough for a sequel, in July another film with the actress was released. American Carnage by the master of the genre Diego Halavis revealed to the world a non-trivial plot in which harmless at first glance, elderly people become monsters.
Hey, she were into girls, I'd try to hit that too.
Oh, yeah?
Then again, maybe I could change your mind about that. Relax, bro, I'm not gonna stand in your way.
In November 2022, Tim Burton's new project Wednesday made headlines.
Since you've abandoned me here, I've been hunted, haunted, and the target of an attempted murder.
Ah, nevermore, I love you so.
The first season of the series showed the most successful start in the history of English-language Netflix shows. In the first week, the number of streams was 341.2 million. The role of Wednesday Addams was not easy for Jenna. Tim auditioned hundreds of applicants for the role and approved the actress only after she was able to show her remarkable acting talent. By the way, it happened remotely because the actress was filming in New Zealand. To the online edition, the girl came in the image she was shooting in, with a huge cut, glycerin sweat on her face, and fake blood on her hair. It was very important to the director that the main lead was similar to the actresses of silent films and could express strong emotions with just her eyes. On the set, he demanded that the girl behave as if she were a mannequin and harassed the makeup artist by checking the heroine's perfect pigtails almost with a ruler. Sometimes he lost his temper if the hair, in his opinion, didn't lie flat enough. Then he would take away the comb and make her image perfect himself. But Ortega wasn't born yesterday. She fearlessly entered arguments with the master about the role. Even mature Catherine Zeta-Jones, who played Morticia Addams, was amazed at the persistence and moral courage of the young actress. Jenna refused to use body doubles and, for the role, learned to fence, shoot arrows, and play the cello. And she also came up with her heroine's main shticks, not blinking and the dance in the fourth episode. The actress choreographed it herself. The result can be safely compared with the effect of an exploding bomb. A strange set of movements coupled with the eye acting instantly made the scene iconic. The song that young Addams danced to was called Goo Goo Muck and by the rock band The Cramps. It is noteworthy that downloads of this track on the popular Shazam platform soared by as much as 8,000% after the series release. Lady Gaga's song Bloody Mary was also lumped with the general hype. TikTok users started posting their version of the dances using the song. In early December, the singer herself joined the viral trend by shooting a video inspired by the film. Jenna herself reaped decent benefits from her legendary dance. In just 10 days, the number of her Instagram followers soared by 10 million, and by December it exceeded 20 million, and Jenna won't stop there. In 2023, the comedy melodrama Miller's Girl will be released, in which Jenna plays opposite Martin Freeman. It will be followed by the film Finest Kind, which gave the actress an opportunity to work with such an unsurpassed professional as Tommy Lee Jones. And again, it will be a thriller. Just a glance on Jenna's filmography will show that she feels a special type of love for this dark genre. The actress admits that she is fascinated by the dark world of thrillers and horrors. She explains this by the fact that she is attracted to repulsive things and events that, on closer inspection, turn out to be something completely different. And shooting in bloody horror movies helped her overcome being a scaredy cat. One day she revealed her little secret to the press, saying that as a child, she dissected dead animals that she found in the backyard of her house. By the way, Jenna continues to live in the same house and has not yet acquired her own villa on the beach or a fashionable penthouse in New York. But her whole life is ahead of her, and as of now, the girl has accumulated $3 million in her account. Given the huge hype accompanying the release of Wednesday, we can expect that the payouts of the rising star will increase. The actress's current rates are not disclosed, but it is known that the leading actors in such Netflix projects receive an average of $40,000 per episode. In case of demand for the series, they can increase up to $300,000. Income is generated not only by filming movies and TV series, but also by advertising contracts. One of them came to Jenna thanks to her diligence. From the age of 14, she kept a diary where she wrote down the advice of makeup artists and hairdressers who worked with her. The records concerning the skin and hair health got the marketers of the cosmetic company Neutrogena very interested and served as a reason for their long-term cooperation. In addition, this experience prompted the young star to try herself in a larger project. In 2021, Jenna made a name for herself as an aspiring writer. Her book titled It's All Love is already selling like hotcakes. The work is basically a selection of inspiring excerpts from the actress's life, which are presented simply and positively. The book's leitmotif is, for every downfall in life, there's a rise, and there is always an opportunity to change the reality for the better. Fans are amazed and delighted by the fact that she wrote it as a 17-year-old teenager. In 2018, the girl shared on Instagram the happy news that she received a driver's license. Then she said that all she needed was a car. But now, Jenna has her own small car park. It includes the legendary German Audi Q3 crossover in black. And there are also reports that Ortega owns a BMW M235i, the price of which averages $45,000. In addition to filming, Jenna turned her attention to acute social problems. In particular, Jenna is an ambassador of UNAIDS, the UN program to combat the spread of HIV. In addition, she protects people from discrimination based on nationality and supports children with cancer. Jenna Ortega is a rising star who is extremely interesting to watch and who undoubtedly has a great future ahead of her. She is lively, talented, and promising. However, due to the rapid rise of her career, the girl was deprived of a regular childhood and school shenanigans. Now, Jenna is very regretful that neither the prom nor the turbulence of adolescence happened to her. This is the price for popularity and success. But at the same time, she hopes that she can direct the unspent energy and emotions into creativity. In her youth, Jenna dreamed of becoming the first female president or astronaut. Perhaps one of these wishes will come true soon, albeit in movies. And have you already watched Wednesday?
I think you could have held on the last image a little bit longer.
That's what I was thinking.
If you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything interesting.